Welcome back, everybody. We're here in the garage working on the Jeep. What are we doing today? Well, we are putting the hoses in the tubing we've been building. I have been recording how we did the tubing, and I'm going to point out some flaws. They're surely in just my design, but the idea, the process of doing this is, I still think, really good. But first, I'm going to show you what we did instead of my original plan, which if you go back to the other previous videos, I have a playlist now of everything for the buildup of the compressor. We can see my original plan and see what the difference is. This first part here, right there, it all's the same. I am going to cut this, hopefully without cutting the hose, but if not, if I do, it's not that big of a deal. Cut that off. And I'm going to get a 90, figure out if I can do a 90 straight down into it, because I think that'd be better. But if we look farther down here, I'm going to get a light out. There is the 45 for the front end right there. It goes over there, if you guys remember. I was originally planning to take it over the top here of the motor mount. But we did some looking, and if I was to run it under the motor mount, it'll still be clear because of the bump stop here on the suspension here is way under that by a few inches. So that means even if I jump the Jeep or whatever, and my suspension maxes out, it still won't hit that. So that made it a little easier to get it up in there. So that's one thing I was worried about. And then we had some leftover rod, and so we welded it to this bracket, which is attached to the compressor itself, but then welded it to this one and then down at the bottom. And then it runs underneath like normal. Then we're back here. I don't have a good place for the light, but I guess this here will do. There we go. We're here at the back, and remember how I was going to do hoses or a pipe all the way up here with a bunch of degrees and stuff like that? Well, we also came up with, do I have it here? Do I have it? There it is. We built a box to go around it. So there will be tubing that comes up through here with the hose inside of it. That bracket that I made as the sandwich, I just cut the middle out and welded the nuts on either side so we can put it up to there like that. And the other side, this guy, will be bolted up here with those bolts, the ones that are laying around, and then to the bottle and stuff. So that's kind of what we changed about everything. Now we are trying to run the hose through everything. This stuff here is what I've been using. It is flat steel fish tape. It actually works really good. It's steel, so you don't have to worry about it snapping or anything like that. But one thing that you got to worry about is connecting this here to your hose. And I do have a solution for that. And the hardest part is probably going to get this part all the way through your piping, but so you can get the hose through. Another flaw, I did have to cut certain sections out so I can get it through the 90s easier. If you're going to do it this way, you're going to do it let's just say you're going to do it the exact same way I am, without bending the pipe or anything like that, because this stuff is hard to bend. If you actually get tubing, then this would be a little easier. But when you die grind this, or grind out the threads, make sure to do that all the threads, so there's nothing for the hose to get caught up on. That was my flaw in this design. I didn't go far enough with the grinder for it to be any relevant, you know what I mean? It was just way too hard. I've been greasing the crap out of the hose, which is fine. I mean, the grease is not bad. It'll help protect the inside of the hose from water if water gets in and stuff like that. So that's not a worry about the grease. It's just more annoying than anything. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this fish tape through the bottom, and it should pop out right there, and then I'll show you what we'll do at that point. Alright, so here's that fishtail end. So I got that through. This is a lot easier than the 90s. So if you're able to, do 45 degrees only, because 90s are almost impossible. But if we go up here, you can see that I forgot to mention that I got this done and painted down here. And that's just the 90 that goes through that. So the front hose has to go through that. So I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot about it, but I remembered because I went to here to get some coffee. Shout out to there. It had some good coffee. We're gonna feed that through. I'm probably just gonna use string because it's a very short distance. There's only 190. Oh, and I decided to leave this end open down here, so I can get to it easier. And I'm gonna run to Lowe's because there's a few things I gotta get. I'm gonna cut that. So cut the hose here, down there. I can cut the hose, and then have an adapter to fit the two together, with clamps and everything. It's not the prettiest, but if I need to take it apart or take the front end off, I don't have to worry about the hose doing all that. But we're still going to fit it through so I have the right length before I cut it and everything, because I don't want to have to redo this all over again. But we're going to do that real quick. Same deal. Probably going to put a piece of string with that nut on it, slide it all the way down until here, and stick the magnet up there to try to pull it all the way through. Then try to get everything on. I'll be right back when that is finished. Alright, so here's the end of the hose. You can see it's kind of mangled up because I drilled a hole straight through, so there's 2 of them, and then another one on the front, so there's 4 total. I go in through one, come out the bottom, loop it around, come in through the top one, loop it around again, and I did it again on one side except for this back one. So what we're going to do is that we're going to wrap it around that guy right there for the fish tape, and go all the way through it, and just wrap it and wrap it and wrap it. Then we're going to wrap the wire in electrical tape so the wire doesn't get hung up. And then we're going to grease it just by sticking in some grease, because it needs every little bit of help it needs to get. And that didn't sound right, but it works. So I'm going to get started on that, and I might do a time lapse to kind of show you how freaking long this takes, if I can find a place for a camera. But yeah, I'll be back. Alright, I don't know how long that's actually going to be, because this went by a lot quicker than I thought it would. I put this clamp on just in case, or just to stop from going all the way down, because I don't want the end to go all the way through, or then I'd be really upset and probably give up and burn the Jeep to the ground. But it has made it through. Now I just got to feed it up all the way until this end here, and then that end down there that I cut are really close to each other, about a 1.5 inches of give, probably, is my guess. So now what I believe we're going to do is that I'm going to take this off and see if I can see what size this is, and see if I can find an absolute 90 degrees of it, so I can put it in here so it can go straight down, and then I can cut this tube off and adjust it and weld it, or at least tack it a crap ton. It won't look pretty, but I don't want it to melt the tube. Then I can always ground it later and pretend I'm a welder. But then I'm going to cut this here because it is kinked really bad. I'm going to cut it there and get one of these guys. I have it on the bottle. Get one of these guys here, and a quarter inch pipe thread. I want to see if I can find another 2 more 90s. Because if I find 2 more 90s of this, then I can do the same thing, and it'll flow better and less kinks, and it won't look as crappy. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that. Then I'm going to run some errands in the Volvo. Drop the dog off because he has an appointment or something like that, I don't know. Then I'll be back with the continuation of this hose installation. Okay, it is a few hours later. So what I thought was that it would be easier to take the grill out to put the grill piece in. I was correct, but taking the grill out was a lot worse than I thought it'd be. But I do have it in. There's that front piece that was supposed to be behind there, but because it's such close quarters, it has to be on the front. Not that big of a deal, just sticks out farther. There are the hoses. The hardest part was getting my American flag grill, or not grill, radiator guard in, and I got it behind the tube. Even though I painted it black, it'd be hard to see. It'd be almost impossible to see unless you're really looking for it, which is just a bonus. So that looks really good. I like that a lot. So I'm gonna cut the hose probably right here, right there. Give me some leeway there. Well, I don't know. I think right about there, somewhere in there. Then we're gonna put it back in, put all the wires through it and everything. Put the light bulbs back in because I had to take those out. Or I mean headlights and all the light bulbs for the blinkers and stuff like that. Put it back in, mount the radiator. Once it's all in, then we continue with the hose. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much of a pain it's gonna be. You know, I started this at like around 9:30. Probably started on this part right here around 10:30, 11, and it's almost 12:30. I'm hungry, but gotta get this done because I gotta be somewhere tonight with it, and needs to be done by then. Okay, we're back from our errands. So I got, this is 1/4" pipe thread. After this is the 3/8, I think, for this part. So this to this is 1/4" pipe thread, and then this piece that hooks up into the hose right there. Oh, okay, I can't get the camera right. There we go. This silver piece here is 1/4" pipe thread, and then that goes into the hose, and that goes down there. I cut this here because I got it real close, so I'll probably cut it to match, and then I forgot to buy the pieces that go together like that. But then it goes underneath out here. I did have to take it apart and cut it to get it to fit, so I got to put that guy back on, which is right there, or at least feed the hose through so I can put the pipe through and then tack it on tonight. And then I'm gonna start setting up the box, at least, or no, I'm just gonna feed these through inside, so I can at least drive to where I'm gonna have it finished, welded and stuff. I'm exhausted, but that's that. Yeah, that's how that goes. Is there anything else that I'm forgetting? Oh yeah, this guy here, I got the new fittings on those on either side, so everything will kind of fit a little bit more smooth and doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Looks a little bit more professional, not a lot, but a little bit. So what we're going to do now is that I think I'm going to try to, let's see, I got to be there around 5:30. I think it's about 4:30. I'm going to see about wiring this today. So this is the only wire sticking out of it that I can see, so my guess is just the power to it. So I'm going to cut this off here, and I'm going to solder more wire, and I'm going to find a way to get back into the cab. If it's a lot of work, I probably won't do it tonight, but I'll probably come up here where the other wires are coming from for the CB radio and stuff, and then I'll go under the carpet up here where the antenna for the CB radio is going, and I'll just wire it off right there all the way to the top, to whichever one is positive. And then the other one goes back down under here to a switch, and then from the other side of the switch to the battery. That's right there. So that's kind of a long, I might not do that tonight. I work all weekend, but it's supposed to be real nice, so I'll probably stay out late working on it. But that's it for this section of the video. I hope I can fit this in one video. If it's a two-parter, I'm sorry, but I don't think it is. But this is, I think, part 6, no, part 7, part 8. I don't remember at this point, I'm so tired. But I'll catch you guys later.